Supplemental math videos from Circle Christian School. The Square Root Study Guide. Rudy Tooty to the rescue. Take notes, make your own discoveries, good whittles, have good working examples that are easy to follow, and make these kind of notes very formal, very deliberate. That's the best way to use a study guide. These are kind of the things to know about the Rudy Tooty chapter. I noticed I have fun spelling Tooty several different ways. Take your pick. First, you need to know whether or not to solve by square root. And basically what you're looking for is a problem that only has an x squared in it. It doesn't have the rest of the quadratic equation stuff. It doesn't have that middle x in there. So you're just going to solve for x, which means you get everything by itself. You know, the x squared by itself by using the inverses, and then you got a plus minus. So that's really what you're going to do there. If it's got that x in the middle, then you got to figure out if you want to do a double bubble, if you want to do a complete the square, or the default method, just use the quadratic formula. All right, a little side note here about where u equals the x. It's kind of a pre-cal connection, and it's used for solving larger degree functions. The deal is to take the guy in the middle, whatever's in the middle. In this case, it's got the negative 5x squared, so you got an x squared. Take it and always let it equal u. Then you can work the problem out. So there's an example here that follows. You know, just stop the tape, take a look at it, see what happens. The deal is if you've got a degree of 4, then you're going to have 4 answers. And you can see that you get 4 answers here. So next we're going to complete the square by solving you complete the square so that you can solve by square root. The deal here is that the a, the number up front, always has to equal 1. So you may have to do some dividing out. Perfect example here. It's not one that you can solve by a double bubble, but you can use the complete the square. The deal is that when you get to the end here, you got to make sure that your radical is just simplified all the way. It's got that simplify, simplify, simplify. When you think you're done, simplify some more stuff going on there. And again, when all else fails, you can just sing the quadratic formula and use it, just like Mr. Bill here. It's real numbers, so you're going to do real math. You just have to be real careful here. Make sure that you simplify the the fraction up front. I was trying to figure out if I wanted to cut out the cuckoo clock. I guess I won't. You got to make sure that you simplify that fraction. So just bring it on down, nice and simplified. That's the real part. And then you have to deal with the radical part, the irrational part. So this means that you're going to have to do 2 things. Make sure that the number under the radical is simplified as much as possible. And if it has that negative, you turn it into an I guy. And then when you get down to the bottom, make sure you check the real numbers and see if they need simplifying. For instance, here we had a 3 square root 31i over the 12. Well, the 3 and the 12 there has to be simplified to 1 out of 4. Now for the rest, doing the vertex form and quadratic inequalities, check that video out also to see how it's done.